It is once again that time of the year where the new F1 game is released. This year has seen many changes to the driver career, the new but highly controversial dynamic handling model, which includes upgraded tyre models, more aerodynamic simulation as well as different car setup options. However, they haven't really touched MyTeam going forward except the addition of James Hunt and Juan Pablo Montoya. Now in this video we're going to see if the reduced MyTeam changes will have an effect on simulating 10 seasons, and will we see some crazy driver moves or some unpredictable championship winners. But before we begin, make sure you like this video and make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss any future uploads. I also want to quickly shout out the channel members, and to become one you just need to click the link in the description, and this will give you benefits such as shoutouts, early access to my videos, as well as a special role in my brand new Discord server. But with all that out the way, let's get into the first simulation of F1 24. Starting in the current 2024 Formula 1 season and starting with the Constructors' Championship, where Ferrari managed to win their first title since 2008, leading Red Bull by over 100 points. McLaren beat Mercedes and Aston Martin to finish in third place, with Alpine, Haas and the V-Carb team failing to score a single point across 24 races. Heading into the Drivers' Championship, and for this game we have a slightly new layout. Along the right hand side you can see how the entire grid finished, with Alonso in 4th all the way down to Daniel Ricciardo finishing in last place. The top 3 of the Drivers' Championship replicates the Constructors' Championship, with a McLaren of Lando Norris finishing in 3rd place. Now he managed to secure his first race wins this season by winning a total of 2 times. 2nd place goes to the reigning champion of Max Verstappen after he managed to win 11 races this season. Despite the winning tally, it was actually Charles Leclerc who won his first Drivers' Championship by just 5 points, after the championship went down to the final race, with Leclerc winning his 8th race of the season. Fernando Alonso, who finished this season in 4th place, was able to secure that long-awaited 33rd win and even added a 34th to top it off. George Russell in the Mercedes was also able to win a race this season. At the end of the season though, Daniel Ricciardo will leave Formula 1 after finishing in dead last and being replaced by the current Haas driver of Kevin Magnussen. This leaves an open spot in the Haas team, allowing Formula 2 driver of Dennis Hauger to make his debut into Formula 1. There will also be some regulation changes to both the powertrain and durability departments going into the next season. The regulation changes unfortunately wouldn't make much of a difference, with Ferrari winning back-to-back Constructors' Championships. Mercedes made a big improvement as they leapfrogged both McLaren and Red Bull teams to finish in 2nd place. George Russell would definitely help the Mercedes team with this finish after he won 3 races to finish 3rd in this season's championship. 2nd place was also scored 3 race wins and a surprising P2 finish by the Aston Martin driver of Fernando Alonso. Ferrari won their championship by quite a distance, and that was provided by this season's champion winning 7 races, the back-to-back champion Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen would only finish in 4th place this year despite winning a whopping 5 races. Last year's 3rd place Lando Norris would continue to add wins to his tally, with Hamilton and Perez also winning a race. Another big surprise comes in the form of Alex Albon winning a race in the Williams car, after starting on pole at Baku and taking the flag first. At the end of the 2nd season, 15th place Bottas has decided to leave F1, probably to build his own sauna, and is replaced by a real-life driver move, with Nico Hülkenberg moving to the Kick Sauber team. Haas will then have to sign a new driver for a 2nd season in a row, this time signing the rookie of Théo Pourchaire to provide another driver with their Formula 1 debut. Now the powertrain department will once again see some regulation changes, with the aerodynamics department also feeling the changes going into next season. More regulation changes at the end of Season 2 has finally provided change at the top of the Constructors' Championship, as Ferrari are dethroned by Aston Martin. Ferrari dropped down to 3rd place, with the biggest change coming from Mercedes, who dropped from P2 all the way down to P5. The reigning back-to-back champion, the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, couldn't make it 3 in a row and will only finish in 3rd place this season after winning just twice. Lando Norris isn't able to reach the top of the standings, as he once again will fall just short as he finishes P2 this season after winning 5 races. But taking the championship in Season 3 is none other than Fernando Alonso. This comes as a huge surprise, as I don't think I've ever seen him win a championship in any simulation, let alone even reaching a 3rd season. Now he completely dominated this year, as he managed to win 15 out of 24 races, with Oscar Piastri winning his first ever Formula 1 races and adding a 2nd just for fun. Now after Alonso won his 3rd Drivers' Championship, he has decided to retire from racing after an absolutely iconic career, with a race winner from Season 2 Alex Albon jumping from the Williams team to the race winning and championship winning Aston Martin, hoping to possibly win more races and even a championship. Now Williams will then provide a debut to Victor Martins in Season 4 of this simulation. Despite no regulation changes, there will be a change at the top of the Constructors' Championship as Aston Martin drop down, but only to second place, with McLaren finally making it to the top after slowly rising since the start of the simulation. Red Bull overtake Ferrari, the VCARB team overtake Alpine, and Haas overtake Kick Sauber. Alex Albon would succeed in his new Aston Martin as he managed to win a total of 6 races, but that would only take him to 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, with both McLarens taking P1 and P2. Falling just short and finishing in 2nd place by just 29 points is Oscar Piastri despite winning 7 races. This means taking the Drivers' Championship in Season 4 will be Lando Norris, who's managed to beat his teammate despite only winning 5 races. Max Verstappen finished in 4th place while also managing to win 5 races this season, with Carlos Sainz also securing his first win from this simulation. Alex Albon moved to Aston Martin to win races or even a championship, but while managing to achieve the first step, he missed out on the Drivers' Championship and after this season will leave Formula 1. Aston Martin were caught by the surprise of Albon's departure, with the team going on to sign Pierre Gasly for the future. This leaves an open spot at Alpine, which Nico Hülkenberg takes, allowing Oliver Bearman to enter Formula 1 with a full-time race seat at the Kick Sauber team. Heading into Season 5 now, and the top 6 of the Constructors' Championship actually remains the same, with the only changes coming from the Kick Sauber team jumping from last to 7th, with Alpine dropping from 9th and Haas to P10. The Drivers' Championship does take a change with the sudden departure of Alex Albon, with Max Verstappen returning to the top 3, finishing in 3rd place after winning 5 races once again. And again, the Drivers' Championship replicates the Constructors' Championship, with the new Aston Martin driver of Pierre Gasly taking 6 race wins to finish in P2, just behind the reigning champion Lando Norris, who secured 8 race wins himself. Lando's teammate of Piastri would finish in 4th place after taking 3 race wins, with Sergio Perez returning to the top step in the Red Bull. Williams are able to return to the top step of the podium, with their new driver Victor Martins being able to take his first F1 race win. Now at the end of the season, all drivers will stay with their current teams, with the major changes being made to the chassis, powertrain and durability departments, which could cause a massive shake-up that the driver market hasn't. The one thing the regulation changes did change was the Williams result in the Constructors' Championship, as for the first time they don't finish in 6th place. McLaren will retain their title ahead of Aston Martin, Ferrari and Red Bull. Last season's silver medalist of Pierre Gasly will only be able to achieve a 3rd position this season after winning just twice. Piastri would go on to win 5 times this season, which will take him to P2 in the Season 6 Drivers' Championship, but once again finished behind his teammate of Lando Norris, who took 9 race wins. Verstappen, who would finish 5th, would go on to secure 3 race wins, while Lance Stroll P4 would win twice. Both Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz would finish on the top step of the podium, with the Williams of Victor Martins adding another race win to his tally. We are now at the end of 2029, and the now 32-year-old Ferrari driver of Charles Leclerc has decided to retire from Formula 1, with a questionable move from Ferrari as they sign Zhou Guanyu as Leclerc's replacement. This allows for Ayumu Iwasa to make his Formula 1 debut, as he will drive for the Kick Sauber team in Season 7 and beyond. Another season and another Constructors' Championship for the Papaya team as McLaren once again dominate. Aston Martin remain in 2nd place, with Red Bull overtaking Ferrari to finish in 3rd. Gasly once again takes the bronze medal after winning another 5 races. He finished over 100 points behind 2nd place, the McLaren driver of Lando Norris. Now the reigning back-to-back-to-back champion loses out on a 4th consecutive championship by just 4 points to his teammate. Oscar Piastri is able to take his first Drivers' Championship, winning 7 races to get there. Verstappen and Carlos Sainz were both able to win twice, with Lance Stroll and George Russell returning to the top step of the podium in Season 7. This season they will also see the most driver transfers so far, as a result of Kevin Magnussen retiring from Formula 1. And despite just signing for the Sauber team, Iwasa jumped ship to the Visa Cash App RB team, with Yuki Tsunoda going the other way. Sergio Perez has been somewhat of a disappointment in the last few seasons, as the P15 finish causes Red Bull to move him to the sister team of the VCARB. Red Bull then have an open seat which they will give to the Red Bull Junior of Enzo Fittipaldi. There will also be some more changes to the regulations regarding both the aerodynamics and powertrain departments. Those regulation changes made a whole load of no difference, as McLaren win the Constructors' Championship once again, reaching a record points high of 977. Aston Martin finishing 2nd again, with Mercedes returning to 3rd place. Despite Red Bull finishing in 5th, their driver of Max Verstappen was still able to claw his way to 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship despite winning just the once. Both McLaren boys would finish in the top 2, with the reigning champion finishing just behind his teammate of Lando Norris. Piastri will manage to win 7 races this season, with Norris winning a total of 13 times. P4 of Sainz, P7 of Stroll and P10 of Lewis Hamilton would all stand on the top step of the podium this season. and Sergio Perez would go on to have an even worse season, finishing in 19th place without scoring a single point, and has decided it's time to retire from Formula 1. Jack Doohan is brought in by the VCARB team as his replacement, with Red Bull and Alpine striking a deal to swap drivers, meaning that Ocon and Verstappen will be teammates in Season 9. Théo Pourchaire is unfortunately dropped by Haas and is replaced by Frédéric Vesti, who will debut in Formula 1 next season. Entering the penultimate season, and McLaren managed to replicate their record-breaking season last year and score the exact same 977 points in the Constructors' Championship. Aston Martin will stay in P2, with Williams making the biggest jump up to 3rd place this season. Despite not winning a single race this season, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen is once again able to secure 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, once again behind Oscar Piastri, who won 9 races to finish 2nd. Lando Norris will then take his 5th Drivers' Championship after winning a total of 10 races this season. Victor Martins is quietly having a very successful career in Formula 1 after he adds another 4 race wins to his tally as he finishes P6 in the standings, with the smooth operator of Carlos Sainz also able to return to a race win. Norris takes his 5th Drivers' Championship and then decides to call it a day in Formula 1 and finishes tied with Fangio on 5 titles. Max Verstappen is tired of finishing behind the McLarens and follows the "if you can't beat them, join them" as he will move to the Papaya team for the final season of this simulation. Red Bull have an open seat and they will bring back Théo Pourchaire for one last run in Formula 1. The chassis and durability departments will then face regulation changes ahead of the final season in Season 10. Just before we start the final season, Nico Hülkenberg and Frédéric Vesti were both dropped by their respective teams during the middle of the season, with Zane Maloney joining Haas and de Ruvula finishing the season with Alpine. One last season and one last championship for McLaren, who once again smashed the record for the most points in a Constructors' Championship as they breached the 1,000 point mark and finished with 1,059 points. It's been a very disappointing time for Alpine as they finished their 4th season in a row at the bottom of the standings on 0 points. The only drivers to win races this season were the top 3 drivers, as for the first time since Season 2, George Russell returns to take 3rd place after winning 3 races. Oscar Piastri unfortunately plays second fiddle to his teammate once again, despite winning 9 races across the season. This means that Max Verstappen wins another Drivers' Championship, but this time in the McLaren team after he won a total of 12 races. Someone else flying a little under the radar would be Théo Pourchaire, who dragged his Red Bull to 5th place despite Ocon only finishing in P12 in the same team. But that is 10 seasons of F1 24 MyTeam simulated, so let's have a look at the stats from every season added up. This simulation provided us with 3 different Constructors' Champions, them being McLaren, Ferrari and Aston Martin, McLaren winning 7, Ferrari winning twice and Aston Martin winning just the once. There were 5 different World Drivers' Champions in this simulation, with Lando Norris taking half of them with 5, Leclerc winning twice, with Alonso, Piastri and Verstappen all winning 1 title in this simulation. And when it comes down to race winners, 13 different drivers were able to stand on the top step of the podium, with Norris winning the most with 60. Piastri came second, winning 49 races, and Verstappen was not far behind after he won 44. Alonso would win 20, Leclerc just behind on 19, and Gasly would finish with 13 race wins. Russell would win 8 races, Albon would win 7, with Sainz and Victor Martins both winning 6. Lance Stroll would win 4 races, with Hamilton and Perez rounding it out with 2 race wins each. So there you have it, I simulated 10 seasons of F1 24 MyTeam, and this marks the first video on my channel from F1 24. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did want to get it out earlier than I have, but some issues came up, so that meant I had to spend a little bit longer making it. But I will definitely be making more videos on this game, so make sure you are subscribed and drop a like if you enjoyed. Have a think about becoming a channel member, as that helps out so much, and join the Discord in the description below. Now if you want to watch another video of mine, click the one on screen which YouTube thinks you will like the most. But that is all from me, so have a good day, evening or night, and goodbye.